Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and this video is brought to you by the online B-Ball Breakdown membership. Click the first link in the description below to learn more and join.
Good.
Team USA came into last night's game versus Australia on a 78-game winning streak in international play. The last time they had lost was 13 years ago, and Australia had never beaten the US before. In their previous game, the Americans had beaten the Boomers by 16, so they had little cause for concern. But then, the game began. One thing that stood out to me right away was the quality of shot Australia was generating in the half court, even when they missed. Over and over again, their clever motion broke down the defense and caught the US out of position to defend. Luckily for the US, the Australians missed some of these, or the game might have been over even earlier. It started off well for Team USA as Marcus Smart got the start and hit a quick hitter off the handoff from Harrison Barnes when Matthew Dellavedova went underneath the screen. But the Aussies got right back into it quickly with good ball and player movement. Reversing into a handoff quickly finds Ingles with the ball and a step-up screen. Middleton gets stuck behind the roll man on the switch, requiring Miles Turner to rotate over. Donovan Mitchell's role was to split the difference between Mills and Baines, then close out to the pass. He doesn't even realize this, and Baines gets a wide-open corner three. Australia utilized a light full-court press throughout the game, and it disrupted the Americans' rhythm. This behind-the-back pass should have been stolen, and when they goad Mitchell into a one-on-one ISO, Mills is there to strip it and cause the traveling violation. Joe Ingles is simply a great basketball player in any competition, and watch this ultra-quick hitter as they set a double ball screen for him. However, Landale slips the first screen. There is zero communication between Middleton and Barnes, who both go to the ball, and it opens up a great hook pass for the easy slam dunk. Ingles had a game-high 7 assists, and it was easy to see why, as they run that same double ball screen out top, but this time it's the second ball screener who rolls hard to the rim. Middleton gets stuck on the physical screen, and Turner is caught in no man's land, but with a good view of the Baines alley-oop slam. Kemba Walker led the US with 22 points, at times looking completely unstoppable. And here, they set up as if the ball screen would be to his left, but an inside-out dribble allows Mason Plumlee to flip the screen, catch Patty Mills out of position, and while Bogut rightfully sags off of Plumlee, he needed to recognize the ball screen for Kemba and get out there. Kemba gets the wide-open shot to drop. The triangle action is alive and well in Australia, as we see Ingles out high on the left wing, inviting the denial defense by Joe Harris, then centering the ball for Blind Pig as Ingles cuts back door off the pass. Mills follows his pass looking for the handoff, and this organically flows into a split between the two. Watch how Ingles splits his feet and drops down into a stance, making him deceptive and explosive on his way to the hoop for a layup, with no weak side rotation from either Brown or Tatum. Those easy shots the Aussies were generating from misses earlier also got them success too. A simple double pin down on the weak side catches Tatum taking a terrible route. Harrison Barnes doesn't understand his man is screening and then screens Tatum himself. And Nick Kay gets a wide open layup off a nice fake. A great set out of the timeout by Australia illustrates how their offense was operating on a different level compared to the Americans. It starts with a dribble handoff out top, but watch Ingles on the weak side. He cuts across the lane to back screen for Bogut. This would then lead to flex action as Kay was down screening for Ingles. The Ingles screen got Bogut open deep in the post, and while he missed Ingles on the backdoor cut, he has such good position it's an easy half hook and one. The Aussies also brought the energy on defense as well. Knowing Baines can sag way off of Turner, they doubled Kemba out top to get it out of his hands. It's an easy rotation for Baines, and the defense gets back in position. Now they double and leave Turner open, the least threatening offensive player on the floor, and great denial defense across the board plus pressure on the ball leads to a 5-second call and a turnover. More blind pig action as Team USA was clearly trying to deny Patty Mills the ball, and it just plays right into their offense as they center the ball to Bogut, check the nifty one-timer on the bounce. Jaylen Brown is doing a poor job of seeing man and ball. since it was his help, and Mills gets right to the basket for the kind of shot you never want to give to a shooter for fear it'll get him going. Meanwhile, USA did have signs that they were going to run solid offense too. This is part of Pistol or the 21 series, where Kemba passes up to the wing, follows the pass for the handoff, then an inside ball screen. Bogut has no reason to be anywhere near Plumlee out on the perimeter, but when Plumlee sets a screen for Kemba to the middle of the floor, he's got to meet Kemba at the free throw line, or else Kemba is going to do this. The second half is where Mills really got hot, and Ingles runs his man off a high pick and roll. Mill lifts to the weak side wing. Normally, you're just looking for a catch and shoot here, but the Boomers' offense never stops moving, catching Mitchell on an inside ball screen. But then he runs right by his man, assuming Turner would switch. Terrible communication, allowing an awkward but effective one-footed jumper from 16 feet. Team USA caught Ingles trailing a set behind Middleton on the pin down, and a help rotation was 2 steps too late as the US maintained its lead. It felt like the US was going to take control right here as they built a 10-point lead thanks to Kemba Walker's intense speed as the screen comes 30 feet from the basket, and Landale never had a chance against his vicious lefty inside-out dribble into a hanging off-foot layup and one. We hardly saw a full-court press at all from Team USA, which was really strange considering how well it worked on this play. If I were Coach Popovich, I'd be doing this much more often. Andrew Bogut was terrific all game long for Australia, and they went to him in the high post almost exclusively in the second half. Watch the split by Ingles and Mills sucks both Kemba and Harris to the cutter. Again, zero defensive communication or even philosophy. It should just be an automatic switch, yet it's clear to me Pop hasn't set this up. Plumlee was almost in the restricted area too, which forced a 24-foot closeout that Ingles easily blows by for a layup. One of the best things Australia did on offense was waste no time getting right into it. Here's a split cut into a handoff from Mills, and notice how Bogut passes it on the right side of his body, allowing Mills to turn the corner easier and also allowing Bogut to already be facing the rim. A slip to the block gets him an easy hook and a phantom call, but a silly swipe by Plumlee. This is a provocative move that is just asking for the refs to call it. Mills gets going with another 3 on a high post split. Note how it's going to Patty's left. A much easier shot for a righty since his right hip and elbow are already aligned to the hoop on the catch. First off, Mitchell takes a bad route initially that slowed him up, but then look at Plumlee's position. I know he's guarding Bogut, but he needs to recognize what is happening and that he needs to help contest this Mills shot. Now they've let Mills get hot, and it's no surprise to me that a quick pin down catches Brown not seeing man and ball, then going underneath the screen, and the shooter's roll distracts from the wide open shot the defense gave him. Midway through the fourth, it's still anyone's game, and wouldn't you know it, Brown goes underneath another Patty Mills screen, this time in the left corner, and this is just too much time and space to give to a top NBA shooter. As it got to crunch time, the irony of the outcome of this game was that it was decided by 2 multi-dribble isolation 3-point baskets by Australia. Bogut forced the switch on his fake handoff, and Ingles went to work on the mismatch with Turner. This isn't terrible defense, but you'd like to see a much better contest of the shot, as Ingles does a mini step back for an open look that gave Australia the lead. The Boomers opted to throw Delly on Tatum, so the US smartly attacked immediately down low, but as they learned all game, the Aussies are great at using their bodies without fouling. And Delly leverages his bent arm into Tatum's waist to prevent him from getting as high as he wanted to. Then he whacks him on the right arm as Tatum stretches to release, and no call from the ref means this was considered a missed shot. When Mills sprinted off this pin down, it forced Tatum to switch onto him since they could ill afford another open look. Worried of the drive, Tatum gives him an extra step, allowing Mills to simply step into the 3-point shot. And with 5 feet of space and Tatum's hand down, it's a wide open shot for him, and now the US is down 4. The US ran a beauty of an out-of-timeout play here. The special sauce was Harrison Barnes faking the step-up screen first, then turning around and setting a snapback screen for Kemba before slipping to the basket for the pass and the nice finish. Australia ran Spain pick and roll here, where Mills sets a back screen for the ball screener's man, but Barnes contained this well and forces Ingles to kick to the weak side. But another horrible breakdown for the US defense. Why would Joe Harris ever follow Bogut up beyond the free throw line? There's no help, and Mills gets the easiest shot of the game to extend the lead. This looked like a little Spain pick and roll too, as Mills comes up as if he was going to screen Bogut's man. Instead, it's a pin down for him and a curl. Kemba inexplicably runs into his teammate before being so worried of the shot that he steps up to the ball, allowing Mills to just drop the ball down in front of him and get right to the basket. Donovan Mitchell was the help, but he's just watching, and now Australia leads by 6 with less than 2 minutes left. Team USA got lucky on this Bogut high post play, as Mitchell was way late on the switch to Mills, then runs on the wrong side and right into Bogut, leaving Mills open. But they flow right back into another curl screen for Mills, and even though this was covered better, he's shooting an 18-footer with 3 feet of space. It was the US's turn to abuse a mismatch off the dribble, and while Bogut did his job to contain and then contest, Mitchell hits the open jumper to cut the lead in half. Bad clock management here, as the US is down 3 with 42 seconds left, an opportunity for a 2-for-1. No need to shoot a 3, just attack the basket quick and extend the game. Instead, they run a horn set whose primary option is for Mitchell to run off a weak side back screen, then around a strong side pin down and into a handoff, something that takes almost 10 seconds without even the threat of a shot. At this point, they blow the 2-for-1. Great defense by Australia, but at least Tatum kept it alive for another possession. Hard to see exactly how this play unfolded, but Barnes sets a solid screen. One of the best shooters on the planet in Harris is wide open for a game-tying shot, but he can't hit it, and the US allows 9 seconds to go off the clock before fouling. I mean, can you hear me shaking my head? With only 9 seconds left, Mills gives them a 4-point lead. There's simply not enough possessions left, and the Aussies end the longest winning streak the US has ever had in international play, placing everyone in the world on notice that winning the FIBA tournament in September isn't a guarantee, and in fact, winning a medal might be more difficult than anyone thought possible. Sports fans, Coach Nick again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I've got a new online basketball membership where I share with you the best of what NBA teams are doing to help you be more successful on the court. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment below to learn more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about today's video. Check your settings to make sure you get notified each time we drop a new one. After all, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?